So I was hoping you could talk about this land purchase that the council will be considering, and I guess the importance that this land holds for the city and for future industrial development.
Well, in the 1990s, we did a study that determined we needed over 900 acres of industrial park land to make a 20-year supply. And so the mayor and city council went out and purchased that land and developed it. And now there's almost 4,500 jobs in those industrial parks, been hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. Almost 90% of the companies are local companies who expanded, and then there's new companies who came in. So we've got about 150 acres of that property left. And so there's a tool called tax increment financing that provides resources for economic development, and it can't be used for any other purpose. And so the council chose to use some of those tax increment financing dollars to purchase some additional land to have a future supply of industrial parks.
So giving, I guess, the existing inventory of land available and the price tag for this piece of property, $37,000 an acre, I guess how would you justify that to taxpayers, who would look at that figure and, be surprised by it?
Well, we value our industrial park property at $120,000 an acre. And we consistently offer a land discount for companies for job creation and investment. And so we routinely sell the property for $60,000 an acre. And one of the advantages this particular property owner had was when we built our industrial parks, we had to cut Chavanel Road right through the middle of their property, which they cooperated on. And now their property that they're selling to us is in the midst of our industrial park, so it is much more valuable than other pieces of property, and it's certainly much more valuable than farmland. While they were farming it, its true purpose is industrial park land, and so now we're purchasing it. The nice thing is, of the 36 acres we're purchasing, 32 of it's going to be developable, which is a very high yield. Some of the larger farms that we purchase, the yield can get as low as 50% of the land is actually available for, as it's considered developable because of the topography, rocks, and other situations.
And then lastly, was wondering, I guess, what's driving the timing of this? Is there something that's driving the timing of this purchase and some of the other purchases that the city has recently made?
Yes, the city council priorities. So the mayor and city council made industrial park expansion one of their priorities, and so we've been implementing that priority over the last 2 years, and we've identified these sites as the best sites to acquire for industrial park expansion, and so these are the ones that we've been successful in negotiating an agreement on and purchasing.
Do you know if there have been other bidders for this piece of property, if there are other interested parties that's maybe kind of pushing this purchase or pushing that $37,000 an acre price?
Well, I don't know about this particular piece of property, whether there was other interest from other purchasers. I do know some of the other property that we purchased recently. A few years ago, there was serious consideration by a major local developer to put a housing development there, and decided to put their development in a different location. So any time the property could have been sold before we had the opportunity to expand our industrial parks.
Okay. Great.